Welcome. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly, and we're here today to talk about the full moon on March the 12th, 2017, that is going to take place in Virgo. So what do we know about this full moon? Well, we know it's at 22 degrees, and that's a master number, so that is exciting because that opens up, you know, large endeavors, plans, travel. And just to name some of the wonderment of the 22. It could hint towards materialism. It could hint towards the things that we want in life. Now remember that a full moon is really the culmination of the seeds that you planted at the last new moon, which was the solar eclipse in Pisces. So now, typically, when the full moon comes around, we see where our harvest is, where we need to regroup, where we need to expand our thoughts, where we need to take it to the next step. But since we're following a solar eclipse, that energy could actually be over the next 6 months. So it's a step-by-step process, more likely than you have reached a completion point or a major completion point. But you could have. So let's see what the energy is going to be for us for the full moon. Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is opportunities coming in. Many opportunities coming in. Do we see them? Do we see where they can take us? So it could be a little bit of contemplation, a little bit of staying open to ideas that are presented to us, thoughts that are presented to us, really. We have the bird sitting up there, so definitely follow your intuition. Now, the Fool is the brand new path that we are embarking on. I'm going to wait to see what else comes out. We're going to draw 5 cards here. 3 of Pentacles is the hard work. 9 of Swords, the worry, the concern, the fear, the chaos that we grow in our minds, but look at what follows it, the 9 of Cups. So we have 2 9s, which are really completion cards. So let's start with the 8 of Wands and talk about that. Okay, so the wands here represent the ideas that are coming in. Now, this could be our own thoughts, our own creativity, kicking into high gear, understanding what we are capable of, understanding what we can step into, understanding what we can do. So, we're not really getting a lot of closure here. We're actually getting a new lease on life almost with these kinds of cards. So long as you don't become your own worst enemy. And we'll talk about that card in just a second. I lost you here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I've got some update. Okay, so took over the whole screen. So here we are, we're looking forward. So we're not looking behind us, we're not looking in the past. So leading up to this full moon, we want to release the baggage. We want to put completion on things, endings on things, close doors on things that no longer serve us, that create a chaos in our life or is clutter in our life. If you have a messy desk, this is the perfect time to clean it up and go into that full moon energy, because with these cards, we want to start those new beginnings. We are ready to start those new beginnings. We are ready to take our plans to the next level of its development. Or maybe it's a brand new plan because we have the Fool right next to it. And so this is more of that new moon energy. So what did you start when, I think it was the end of February, so 26th, that solar eclipse happened in our lives. And we got to plant the new seeds. Did you journal it? Because now you can go back and say, okay, well, I said I was going to do this. What did I do? Did I do something? Did I do anything? What can I do? What can I start? What can I begin? Where can I put my energy that it's most useful, that it's focused, that it's directed in the right way? But when the Fool shows up, sometimes it's a plan or a path that we weren't expecting to land on. We're a little naive. We are ready for any adventure. So maybe even leading up to this, because before the moon can get into Virgo, it has to go through Leo. So while that moon is in Leo and getting ready to go into Virgo, we could be looking at the new ways of expressing ourselves, the new creative ideas, honoring our inner child in some way. Now we have the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles says whatever we step into is going to take a lot of work. And at times it's going to be like nobody is noticing, that you are not getting any kind of pat on the back or recognition for your efforts, for your time, for your energy, for your contribution. And that shouldn't stop you. This is keeping up the momentum. This is being disciplined. This is holding the paintbrush to your tomorrow. And what colors do you want to put in there? What do you want the experience to look like? And what are you going to do in order to make that happen? So in some ways, this card is a very watered down magician, because the magician also says, what do you want it to look like? Are you willing to work for it? So it's up to what we do, our focus, our discipline, our perseverance on what is going to transform in our lives, what we will step into, where we are going to put our focus, what our dreams and our goals are. Now we have the Nine of Swords here. So we could be our own worst enemy by talking ourselves out of things, by not believing in ourselves, about creating chaos out of a situation that will never actually be a reality. 90% of what we think about, and what did I hear today? It was pretty cool. It was a study of the brain and our thoughts. And our brains actually have the ability to have so many thoughts. And it was if you took a 1 and then you filled 8 pages full of zeros. That's what the number was. It was, I don't know, something billion at the 20th power or something. So it was unrealistically crazy. So of course we want to keep centered onto what we want to step into, what we want to manifest, what we want to grow, where we want the positive in our life. But more often than not, we start thinking negatively. We start thinking about, we allow our inner fear to take over and say, oh, we can't do that because this might happen. I can't have that conversation because what if they ask me about this? I can't see that person because what if they bring up that? And we start to imagine these conflicts and these mini wars in our life, and this chaos in our life, and this stress in our life, and the lowest of the low points in our life. And 90% of that doesn't materialize. But it is what dissipates our energy. It is what pulls us down. It is what... So if something happens, okay, if something happens, because when we have the Fool here, and we have the Eight of Wands right before it saying all kinds of opportunities can come in, new paths can open up to us. And when we have that kind of energy, and then when we have this kind of energy, this is when we really need to take it back, and we need to not run around like a chicken with our head cut off, but rather to be grounded. So we don't want to be running around putting out a bunch of fires that we didn't really need to put out in the first place. It probably will exhaust our energy by the looks of this card. It'll keep us fear-based. It won't allow us to move forward, that's for sure. And it probably won't even allow us to do the proper endings we need, because we are thinking the worst possible case scenario for whatever it is in our lives. So watch the negativity. Watch the knee-jerk reaction to a situation in your life. Because I think if you pull it back and you harness your energy or you harness your thoughts, that you will come up with some very positive resolutions for how to go forward. And I'm thinking that we can do that because we have the Nine of Cups directly following it. So we can tap into our passions, our dreams, our desires. We can grow them bigger and better than ever before. We can see where we need to take those brand new steps. We can see where the opportunities are indeed presenting themselves to us, rather than the worry, the concern, the fear that we conjure up in our minds. So it's thinking positively. Let's get our angel cards out here. So, with this full moon, it's in Virgo. And Virgo is very much about this belongs, this doesn't belong, getting things neat and tidy, in order. So the more we can step back from the situation and really think it through, the more we'll get the answers, the more our intuition will bring us our answers, our higher wisdom will come in and take over and show us the way forward, show us where it's really an opportunity. Because full moons are all about endings, completions. It is about the seeds that we planted. But it's also about allowing things to close in our life, or allow healing in our life, allowing closure, endings, so that we can make room for the new. The Three of Ariel. Do what you love. A time of great personal growth in your career or artistic endeavors, working with others in a cooperative manner. So, do what you love. Follow your passions, follow your dreams, follow your desires. Take joy in what you do. Find the joy, find the love. Sometimes we take it for granted, the simple things in life, and we don't take a joy. We don't take time out to smell the roses, so to speak. So this could be a little bit, I think, of gratitude coming in. Gratitude that we have hands to work with, our feet to walk with, our eyes to see, or a voice to talk, ears to hear. And know that sometimes it might be hard work, or it might be a hard situation that we are in, but we need to embrace the joy of being able to be put in that situation. That we have what it takes to be present in that moment. That we can do something with the energy. The Ace of Raphael, so an ace. So we're getting all this new energy in a full moon. A positive new emotional experience, fulfilling romantic relationships, and deep and lasting spiritual insights. I really think that the spirituality with the sun in Pisces is really going to be key. So it's following your intuition, believing in yourself, having a faith and understanding in yourself. And here we have the Ace of Raphael telling us deep and lasting spiritual insights. Positive and new emotional experience. So this may be where you click with somebody. They become your mentor. They become your soulmate. They become your best friend. They become your new boss. They become your new partner, your new co-worker, your new neighbor. Fulfilling romantic relationships. So this is a time to enjoy each other. Love each other. Understand what is at the core. So where I was saying the gratitude with the Three of Ariel, that you have something. And even if the spark is pretty dim right now, you can look back at the beginning moments and recreate or rekindle that fire into being. by taking it to the basics and understanding exactly what you love about that person, what drew you to that person, what drew you into that relationship. We have the Knight of Michael. Time to move quickly, choose logic over emotion and sudden changes. And I do believe with the full moon there can be sudden changes. And coming right off an eclipse, you know, if we weren't moving consciously on our path, something may come in to move us. Because we need to get going. We need to move forward. We need to start. We need to have action. And we just came through Mars and Aries, and I don't know how well you use that energy, but now it goes into Taurus, and Taurus is a little bit more grounded. Taurus is a little bit more, well, stubborn too. So where we had that fire energy, meaning fire energy, we don't have that anymore. Now we have more of an earth or a fixed energy that Mars is moving into. So we could really, you know, stick our feet in the ground and say, we are not budging on this. Be careful of that kind of attitude. Go with the flow. See what is open to you. See what is available to you. Understand that there can be a plan B and a C and a D and an E and an F. Sudden changes can happen and time to move quickly. Time to start moving forward into, maybe it's closure, maybe it's getting rid of the clutter in order for you to really have the sense of freedom and liberation going forward. The Eight of Raphael, there is something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right for you. A spiritual quest. Here's that spirituality again. But only if you are being honest and truthful with yourself, with your passions, your desires, your dreams. That you're not putting an excuse behind why you're not there yet, but rather saying, I'm going to start working at it. I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start becoming. There is something better waiting for you. It's waiting for you. It's on your path. All you need to do is start walking towards it. Do what you know is right for you. So don't be a people pleaser through this full moon. Do what's right for you. Don't do it because it'll make anybody else happy. It needs to make you happy. It needs to make you feel confident and secure. And bring joy into your life. That's 4. We'll do one more. King of Ariel. So Ariel starts it and Ariel ends it. Your plans are working out very well. Professional and financial success. Using resources wisely. So there's that thought again, where we need to pull it back and we need to think, how can I use my time, my energy in a way that is focused, in a way that has direction, in a way that I'm really going to see a successful outcome. So don't knee-jerk any kind of energy through this full moon energy. Don't knee-jerk and just do something for the sake of doing it so that you can say that you handled it in some way, but rather be very proactive in thinking about the solution and what the best solution is. Using resources wisely. Resources could be money, it could be time, it could be energy. And we will pick a Journey of Love card. Because the moon is our emotions. The moon is our inner beings. The Cloak. What a stunning card that is. So 50, so the Adventure. It's all about adventure this full moon. It's all about believing in yourself, taking it to the next step, stepping into new territory, starting new paths, allowing new opportunities to be presented to you and you recognizing them and having an awareness of them. Let's read the poem. The poem is very, very, very short. Loneliness is like a ship in full sail with no wind and no place to go. Around you there is a cloak of your own creation. Perhaps it has served you for a time as an invisible form of protection, as a way to claim needed solitude, as a way to retreat inside to find out what you truly feel, what you truly need, to find yourself after being lost in an ocean of thought and emotion, not always your own. Yet the time is fast approaching when you will no longer require that cloak. You have attained an integration within, a knowledge of self that makes it possible for you to connect with the world, with others, in a way that does not leave you lost and struggling to find yourself. You have learned how to hold yourself. You have learned how to do this well enough that you can successfully hold yourself and hold another too. You don't have to push the world away. You can invite it in and play. The message that this oracle brings to you is that you can safely release the forms of security that you once held. You do not have to abandon your boundaries with others. Rather, your boundaries are so functional that you can enter into relationships with more openness, trusting that your boundary will naturally assert itself when necessary, giving you the connection to yourself that you need, when you need it, without having to withdraw from relationships entirely. It is time to trust your own boundaries and practice letting them help you whilst actively engaging in a deeper relationship, and you'll have fun. So find the joy. But remember, we are in a full moon, and so we can safely release the forms of security that once held us, once kept us strong. We don't need that anymore. We don't need the safety net. But we've grown comfortable with that safety net. And so it's time to move beyond it. It's time to step out. I mean, we have all the cards here telling us, especially the Fool being the second card. And the Fool is the 22nd card of the deck. It's the 0 card, but it's also the 22nd, and the full moon is on the 22nd. So it is really about preparing yourself to move forward into brand new paths. Now remember, the new moon will be at the end of March, and that's going to be an exciting one to talk about because it is in Aries. So when the sun moves into Aries, when we have that first new moon into Aries, that's when the new year begins astrologically. So get excited about where you are going and understand, grow that confidence. Watch the negativity. Watch the feelings that you can't do this, or you want to avoid something. This isn't a time to avoid. This is a time to think magical, beautiful thoughts about your goals, your dreams, your desires, and how you are going to step into that path going forward. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.